So you mentioned one of the tips you'd have for a small business, or something you advise them, is to know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You are in a really unique position because you're so young and you have a young business. You must have had such a learning curve.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So how was that? What's the biggest thing you've learned, and what was the biggest challenges you had to overcome?
I think for me, one of the initial challenges was the age. I'm 13 years old. I'm in a meeting with a buyer for a blue chip company. It's a very steep learning curve, and I think I've always said that you'll only be as successful as the biggest mistake you've made. You really do have to go out there and try your hardest and make as many mistakes as you can as quickly as possible. The more mistakes you learn, the more mistakes you make, the more you learn.
Yeah.
And business is all about growth. It's all about expanding your knowledge, and you never stop learning. After 7 years, I'm still learning about business, and I'm sure it never stops.
Absolutely.
I'm sure people like Duncan, Theo, Richard Branson, they're still learning. Because there's always new parts, but absolutely, it's making the mistakes, but the most important thing as well is to take a mistake as a lesson.
Yeah.
Now I sound like I'm repeating myself, but a lot of people, you'll make a mistake, you spend a lot of energy and a lot of emotion in that time of your life, whether it be personal or business. It's expending all of that energy where actually you can sit down and turn it into something constructive.
Yeah.
It's about really taking time in your business, a couple of days a week, or even a couple of hours, go on a jog, do something. Think about what's happened. Go through it in your head. Sit down, maybe some family, friends, advisors, mentors, and talk through it.
Great. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's absolutely valid, and something that all SMEs and people certainly your age should learn.
Absolutely.
So you have a wide selection here. I can see kind of limes and lemons and coconuts. I don't need to read it to see because it's cleverly designed universally. So what's the future then? Are you just going to expand in bars, or do you see chocolate as something that's going to branch out into other areas?
I think it's difficult to say because the range is going to expand a lot over the next sort of 12 to 18 months. We've got a lot of new products coming in. We're going to be expanding the ranges a lot abroad. So we've got all sorts of new products being brought out for China, for India, for Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, and so on. But I would like to see chocolate expand down the road of retail. So I'm planning to open a chocolate shop in Mexico as of probably February, March next year, and we'll see how it goes. It's a testing platform. I want to see how it's going to work. I'd like to bring back some of the things that I started out with. I still have my first ever cake recipe that started my business. Things like that, fun little memories and parts of the business that I don't get to show. And we'll see where we go. I've got two other businesses apart from chocolate as well. So I've got a lot of stuff going on, but certainly, it's about expanding the range, it's growing the markets, and we very much work with countries individually because you can't expect every country to have the same flavours, you can't expect them to like the same packaging, so it's about being adaptable, and this is what the print company that we've got, Synergy, who sponsored me, who I work with very closely, have allowed us with the digital printing and the new age of business to adapt. Because that's what it's all about when you're going abroad.
Absolutely. So you say that in Mexico maybe, or in other countries around the world, it's difficult for you to understand what flavours there are available and what have you. So there's lots of trial and error, I presume.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
one country's taste might be dissimilar to
Yeah.
another. So when you created your first bar then, how long did it take you to perfect that, and what kind of challenges were ahead?
Well, the first ever bar I did was actually dark chocolate and orange because it was the orangutan bar. So it wasn't very much trial and error, I'd say. It was more a case of getting the taste right, making sure the quality of the oils was right. That was probably the longest process. So it was a case of really going through hundreds of suppliers and finding the right quality, the right CSR, everything that I needed. And once I had that, then, growing the range was a little bit easy because I would use the same supplier for the different flavours.
Right.
But very much it's, for me, when creating a chocolate bar or any flavour, it's about respecting the chocolate itself. Just by putting a flavour in, it might not actually work with the chocolate. So it's about, finding out the right balance between, I want to put a flavour into the chocolate, but I also have to understand that this chocolate has its own characteristics and I have to work with it. I can't put any flavour in any chocolate.
Wow, that's really interesting. So it's almost an exact science in terms of what will work with something else.
That's why you don't see a lot of the celebrity chefs messing around with chocolate.
Yeah,
it's quite specific.
Yeah. So is there a flavour then? I see you've got chili down here, which is quite off the wall, but quite popular now, I think.
Yes, it's very popular.
And coconut and all sorts of things. Is there one flavour you'd love to try and knock on the head, or not knock on the head, but try and get perfect?
I'd say probably the one I'm most pleased with. There's two of them. One is the dark chocolate and ginger, which you just tried,
which is amazing.
And that's the one that I created to be one of the most diverse flavours. And actually, I do a lot of pairings with coffee, wines, teas, champagnes, liqueurs, beers, all sorts of products. And that is the only chocolate bar that is at every single one of the tastings.
Oh, really?
Because it's a very easy, because it's so complex, it's very easy to find matches. So we find that that's a big favourite for our chocolate fans, the ones who really know their chocolate well. And the other one is the sea salt, black pepper and honeycomb, which I started doing that when I was about 14 and have always wanted to make it into a chocolate bar. It started out as a chocolate mousse, so I'm really pleased that's finally a bar now.
Oh, great, okay. That's brilliant, Louis. Thank you so much for sharing with us some of your delicious chocolate, and hopefully some of our viewers will take away some life lessons from a young man.
Good.
So thanks very much.
No problem. Thanks.